I'm sure most of you know our next guest. I'm a big fan. I think she's doing phenomenal work with her and her nursing associates, spreading the good word. Kristen Nagel. How are you, Kristen? Can you hear me?
hmm I'm great. Thanks for having me on.
Awesome. Thanks for joining us. How's it
Mhm.
going? You're on the road, are you?
Yeah, we're on the road. I'm currently at a campground in Thunder Bay. Yeah.
Cool. Cool. So how are you guys moving across the country? Do you have a motorhome? Do you have a like what is it you're traveling in?
hmm I'm with my family because I've got two very young boys that I don't want to leave behind all summer. So we have a very old vintage trailer. It's a Golden Falcon. We call it our little tin can or a glorified tent, but it does the trick for us. And the other three girls are traveling together in a car, and people have been very kind and generous and have been putting them up in their homes and even a couple of stops along the way, they're allowing space for our trailer to pull in. So it's been really amazing the connections we've made so far. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Very cool. Sounds fun.
Yeah.
It's nice to get together with people that you share a common goal and you do some traveling with because that's a way to really form a bond, right?
Yeah, and just really get clear on our mission, our focus, and what we're trying to do, which is, bring awareness to everything that's been going on, all the nonsense. There's so much of it, but I guess like we're kind of focused on the medical side of it, the corruption of the allopathic medicine, and just trying to bring awareness more into holistic health, more preventative care, getting to the root cause solutions. And what we're really trying to do is just bring awareness to the silencing of nurses and other healthcare professionals, that we're not allowed to have a voice. We're not allowed to go against the narrative or ask questions. There's no longer informed consent, medical transparency, or medical freedom. It's very much coercion. And so we're trying to bring awareness to that, as well as bring awareness to the new framework that we're trying to create for actual empowered health and healing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's incredibly important. And I know I appreciate it, and everybody watching appreciates the fact that you're stepping out of your comfort zone, putting your career possibly at risk. Do you think your career is at risk? I'll start there.
Well, I think you had me on your show a while ago. So Sarah and I, as well as Crystal, all three of us have been terminated. Sarah and I got terminated back in January when we came back from DC, and they lumped us in with the the seizing of the Capitol. Even though we weren't even a part of that, we were at a different location. But we were terminated upon arrival home to Canada. The RCMP at our doors, because we were called domestic terrorists. And then, yeah, Crystal Pitter is a nurse practitioner. She's one of the first ones to speak out, actually, that was in the media. But she was also terminated. So three of us lost our jobs. One touring with us, her still has a job. So we'll see how long that
But
lasts.
I think, the reason I ask it in that way because I think your career isn't over.
Well, our career as conventional nurses, part of a regulatory body, is probably over. I would say that we're fighting for our licenses because they're under investigation. They're trying to revoke it, but they can't take away our education or what we've learned or the fact that we have been nurses. Like that'll never change. We are nurses through and through.
Right.
It is our calling. It's a part of us. But we're moving away from allopathic, just from the corruption, because you can't fight against something that was built on corruption, that was built by the Rockefellers, that was made to use up petroleum, that would turn into petrochemicals to keep people sick, to keep people coming in as profits. It's a sick care system. So there's no sense in fighting against that when it's already built on corruption, when we can build something on a solid foundation, actually built in truth, by health, and actually empower people to live a healthy, optimal lives where they don't need hospitals and this sick care, where they can actually understand that their body has everything it needs within them to heal. Our bodies want to heal. Our bodies want to be in homeostasis. We just need to give them all the right tools to do this. So that's our goal, is to create something on a solid foundation.
So based on that model, and I love it. I love to hear what you're saying. What does that look like 5 years down the road? What does that look like maybe 10 years down the road?
That would look like people being more in tune to nature, people more in tune to their bodies, in tune to their intuition, all these things that we have given up since conception, really. So at conception, mother is told, to go to these OB appointments, to be told by the doctor, is the baby okay? Look at ultrasounds. Is everything okay? Is everything okay? Versus just connecting with their own body and this growing baby, this miracle inside of them. We look for other people to tell us, is everything okay? So we've already lost that connection with our own bodies and this growing baby miracle inside of us. Then when that baby is born, immediately it's brought to a table, and this is the area I worked in, so I was unfortunately a part of it. But when that baby's born, right away it's taken from mom, placed on a table where it's given, injections and, eye cream, and right then we're being told that babies are weak and not created perfect, and we need outside help, to make us stronger. We've given up completely our responsibility over ourselves. So I would think 5-10 years, people are back in tune to their body. They actually realize that their body has everything it needs. They're listening to themselves. They're becoming the experts over their own body. And I would say needing less and less outside help is what I envision, and more connection to God, more connection to nature. I envision these healing centers specifically for children, because I think the children right now are going to need a lot of help coming out of this. There's going to be so much trauma that as we're creating right now with all this fear. I want them to connect to gardens, to help build gardens, see how food grows, to eat it, to play in dirt, to just be kids again. I don't know. We have a lot of ideas and we're working towards it. We're going to start working really hard come the fall after our trip. Mm-hmm.
So you're essentially, through sharing of information, educating the public, you're sort of facilitating this new look at how people look at healthcare and look at their own healthcare.
Yeah, and I think that's what it is, right? Is looking at their own body and just listening to their body. So it'll be through education, through courses, through programs. And I think Sarah is doing something amazing with mental health. She's created a program called Lighting Up with Dark Corners. Sarah's the other co-founder of Canadian Frontline Nurses, and she's facilitating workshops and different events and programs, even nature walks. So they're looking at root cause solutions, or looking at the root cause of mental health without prescription drugs. So she's doing something amazing there. Even with nursing homes, they're looking at creating these nursing pods. Like I always talk about learning pods for kids, like getting kids out of the school system. They're actually looking at that for seniors as well. As like maybe, they're actually looking at motels or, cottages, families going in on it together. So you can bring in organic food, chefs, and they're surrounded by nature and together, and actually being able to provide proper care, and they can actually still enjoy their life. So they're actually working really hard towards that, and things are kind of coming together. Mm-hmm.
So did you have this plan, this vision before COVID came, or was this something that COVID have sort of inspired in you to move away from and into what you're talking about?
No, I had this vision before. I went back to school to become a holistic nutritionist, and with that, that's when all the light bulbs went off, and I was like, health is actually so easy if you just take care of yourself and actually, learn about food, your body, your mental health, spiritual health, physical health, and, and realizing that we are divine beings. And I think that's something that the allopathic system does. It severs our connection to any kind of spiritual inkling, whatever that might be for people. But my desire was to move away from allopathic and into a more holistic. And as a nutritionist, it was always geared towards food and having young kids. It was my vision was for kids, helping kids, start off like their foundation solid, with their first 1,000 days of life is so important. So I wanted to always bring awareness to that.
So it's interesting because I think, for myself, being in the political arena and looking at, where our politicians have taken us in the last 40, 50 years, coming into COVID and all the way through this experience they've rammed us into, I've sort of looked at it as an opportunity to reach out to the masses and educate them. I think you're probably doing the same thing based on, and I hate to use Trudeau's words, but I'm going to anyway, COVID as an opportunity to educate people, because a lot of people's eyes have been open to the corruption through this thing. Not enough, but there's a lot more people listening. And I think what you are talking about, obviously, it's created an opportunity for you as well. Wouldn't you think? You're mute. We can't hear you.
Thanks. There you go. Absolutely. I think that's the most amazing thing that's come out of all this craziness, that we needed something kind of like catastrophic to shake us up, to really put us into our passions, our purpose, and to take action on it. I think so many of us, got comfortable. We got these solid paychecks coming in, and maybe we've had these like passions or interests that we've wanted to do, but haven't wanted to act on it. Now it's given us the push to actually do something with it, and given us a platform to actually get our voices heard and make a difference. So I know Sarah has started up Lighting Up Dark Corners before this happened. So she is just thrilled that now she has the platform and the opportunity to bring it to light. And I know that this healing center I want to do for kids was always in the back of my mind, like gardens, getting kids involved, has always been a dream. And now I think together, we have the right people in place and we can actually make this happen now. So I think it's pretty exciting, an exciting time, because we're actually at this place where we can make change. We can change the trajectory that we've been on, because I can tell you, everyone says like, I want to go back to normal. I don't want to go back to how we were living.
Right.
That wasn't to me not living. It was like work and hustle. It was just busy distractions. We were already isolated beings. We didn't have much community. I mean, how many people actually like knew their neighbors? So I think this has brought like-minded people together and has grown stronger communities and stronger relationships. And I think it's a pretty amazing time, actually.
What you're saying is absolute music to my ears, because in our town halls that me and RB have been doing, we focus a lot on that and bringing communities together. And the fact of the matter is we as a society in Canada, we needed this. And as
Absolutely.
much as I hate to see all of the suffering caused by what the politicians have put into place, it's now something that has woken up a lot of people and are paying attention. Everything that we're going through, and we'll continue to go through as they try to achieve their goals, is necessary. It's all 100% necessary, because, as you said, we have been completely spoiled and lulled to sleep and put into this complacency where we've let our politicians do whatever they want. And they've been doing it and preparing for this moment. So now it's our time, as this all gets exposed, to get in and start promoting this different way of doing things. And so what you're saying is music to my ears.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Like, people think this is all new. This has been just a slow progression for many, many years, like decades. I mean, even like if you go back to healthcare, it's been well over a century, like 150 years and beyond. So it's just been very slow progression. They said we've been sleeping to, but now, it's been brought like right front and center to us. It's affected many people's lives on so many different levels, and it's been catastrophic and devastating to so many. But now it's creating that awakening that we needed, and getting that fire under our butts to actually step up, stand up, speak out, and make a change that was so desperately needed in Canada. We were getting way too sleepy, way too complicit, and way too reliant on everything. Like, we have given up all our responsibility and all independence over ourselves, and now it's time to reclaim it, and it's going to be challenging. I mean, we've gotten so comfortable with all our conveniences and everything that we've relied on, that it is going to be very uncomfortable for many people. And I keep trying to tell people that, like, it's going to get more challenging, it's going to get more uncomfortable, but lean into it, lean into the discomfort, and let it fuel you to move forward, to move through it, because everything at the other side of these challenges only makes you stronger and better. And once we get over this, then, I'm just so excited for what we're going to create on the other side of this, with all the amazing people coming together and all the creativity and all like this, I don't know, awesome collective consciousness that's awakening in people.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Well said. So I'm just going to pull up your flyers here again. So you've left already as of July 3rd. And so where have you been to date? I guess you've been in Barrie, North Bay?
Yeah, so we're just kind of at the start. We actually left on the 5th. We were 2 days short from the flyer. But so we are in Barrie, and what did it just say? North Bay? North Bay was actually awesome. We did a really cool Q&A, And you know what? It's just been really nice. Like maybe the crowd wasn't massive, but we got to meet some real people, and we met some nurses that I think we really inspired to make a change. They're looking to get away from, conventional nursing as well. And we were able to make connections, and people just asked questions. So, I mean, the rallies are great. The rallies are great for motivating and for bringing people together. But we found a need where people just want to know what can they do. And so we were able to, create a panel where we just sat there, they asked our questions, and we gave them, direct answers and call to actions.
Yeah, and I again, you're echoing my sentiments. Rallies are great, protests are great. They serve an important purpose, but they are limited in what you can achieve. Primarily because there's a lot of people out there that it's just not in their DNA to go to a rally or protest or march or something, of that nature. But they love to go to a town hall where they can participate, they can ask questions, they can be sort of, part of what's happening. And that's what we found in our town hall meetings. And really, for me, the most valuable thing is the Q&As, where we can start to talk with people and get people talking amongst themselves again. Yeah. And one of the things that we found is, going to the rural communities, going to small towns, going to farms, and meeting with those communities who still share this sense of self-reliance and independence and self-determination. They get it. They get it a lot more than people do in the cities, generally speaking, right?
Yeah.
So it's interesting to listen to you because you're speaking the same language. So it's interesting. It's good.
Yeah. Well, I think I've just been so fortunate where I am in London, Ontario. Like we've over the years have been building a community, and I don't think we realized how important it was going to be coming up to now. So we've had a strong community. Our kids have never missed a beat. I think our kids are more social than they ever had been. We do a forest school one day a week where the kids just, we all meet up in a forest and the kids play. We do a foraging lesson, talk about wild foods that they can eat. And it's so I think that's what I keep trying to bring back into each place I visit, is trying to grow that community. And that's what we did in North Bay, is encourage people to introduce themselves to a stranger and make sure they walked away with them like at least one contact. And I watched the group of people. They went across the group and they exchanged numbers and made connections, and people were so thankful because they're like, oh my gosh, this person has this and now we get to do this. And someone said, well, I have a big property, like what can we do with it? And so these are the conversations that we need to be having. Like, what do you have that can be of service? How can I be of service, to this community? What can we all bring together? Because that's the only way we're going to get through this, is coming together with all our skills and forming a very tight-knit community that relies on one another. Because isolated, we're easy just to kind of pin off, but 100%. Together we're 100%. So much stronger. Yeah.
100%. And that's, again, one of the positive byproducts of these events, it's not only about the information that we're giving to the people and connecting some dots that, maybe they didn't connect before, but they walk away with them connected a little bit. But it's this community, because everyone that we do spawns 2 or 3 more. Because people talk, right? And this is what we want them to do. We want them to talk again and exchange ideas and phone numbers and develop this sense of community again that we've, our society has taken us away from. And that's exactly where we need to go back to.
Absolutely, because revolutions were always made in pubs and churches, right? And that's what they're trying to stop us from going to. So they're trying to stop people from getting together because they know how powerful we are when we do unite and share ideas and our skills. And, it's not by coincidence that these villages that all work together have been separated over the hundreds of years, right? To make us into these boxes. Like we've been placed in boxes that just, leave this box to go to another box and come home. And we're too busy to get together, to have all these, connections and sharing of ideas. Like all these things are not coincidence.
You know what? I feel so strongly that this is the key to us taking back our nation and taking back our communities. It really is the key. And as I said, rallies are important. These things that we've done, publicly are important, but they're limited. Social media is limited. I really think the answer to all of this is exactly what you're doing and what we're doing and some other people are starting to do. So I'm so happy to see this, and you coming at it from a health perspective, us coming at it from a political perspective. hopefully we can cross migrate some of these folks and give them the information that's necessary. So kudos to you, Christine, and all
Absolutely.
how many people are traveling with you guys, by the way?
There's 4 and two more are meeting up with us in BC, so we'll be 6. So it's pretty awesome. Mm-hmm.
All right, so you're in North Bay or in Thunder Bay right now, and you're heading to Winnipeg for the 12th.
Yep. So we're going to be hitting up the College of Nurses there in Winnipeg, which is going to be awesome. Mm-hmm.
Is that on campus at University of Manitoba?
I don't think so. Where is it? I had the address. It's the College of Registered Nurses of Manitoba. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they can Google that. And then Saskatoon, of course, where you're going to stop here in my hometown, and we have that planned out for. Are you releasing information as to where these venues are precisely? Or are we?
Yeah. No, okay. We were. Yeah, those are just kind of, some of this is unfolding as we travel. Like Edmonton, I'm still working on Edmonton. So anybody watching this that wants to help us with Edmonton, that'd be greatly appreciated. But yeah, once we kind of have a spot at the time, we've been releasing it. So we'll have to make sure to connect and get those details so I can start releasing them for Saskatoon as well.
Excuse me. So Saskatoon is going to be at the university in what they call the Bowl, and
okay.
Excuse me. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, no worries.
So they call it the Bowl, and it's basically in the center between a number of different colleges. It's a nice little spot. We had a couple of doctors, Dr. Francis Christian and Dr. Wong, both been in the media as of late. So we did a little rally there, an information session, we'll call it. So that's where we're going to host you guys. So there'll hopefully be lots of people showing up. So if you're in the Saskatoon area, absolutely be there on the 14th at 7 p.m. And you can listen to these fine and intelligent nurses spreading their information. And then you're off to Edmonton, Vancouver, Victoria, Kelowna, Calgary. And I think there's more after that, is there not?
No, I'll just be traveling kind of on my own after Calgary because Crystal had to get back for a very important arbitration meeting. So they had to kind of hurry back after Calgary. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, cool. And I wish you guys all the luck and anything I can do to help. If along the way you want to jump on again and promote an event or one of these locations, by all means, let me know. I'll be on the road next week myself. We should talk. Maybe we can make something happen together at one of these venues.
I was thinking that when you were listing off all those spots, I was like, I wonder.
Yeah, because it says you're in Vancouver on the 24th. Are you guys going to be in the Lower Mainland at any time, days before?
I think possibly. No.
We'll connect offline.
We'll figure it out. We'll talk after. Yeah. Yes.
Sounds good.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks again for coming on. And anytime you want to come on, by all means, let's do it. And I look forward to it. So thanks for everything you're doing, Kristen. Bang on.
You as well. Yeah, appreciate it. All right. Bye.
All right. Travel safe.
Thank you.
All right. All right, Kristen Nagel, Canadian Frontline Nurses. I love it. I love everything that she's talking about. And RB can echo this as well. A lot of what she's saying is what we talk about, as we mentioned, getting the communities back together, getting people talking again. And it's incredibly important. It's the key to all of this, and taking back responsibility that we've abdicated to the politicians for the last 50 years.